So thank you. In Commitment 2018 this afternoon, money issues are also on the ballot in Davie County. We're told that a proposed quarter of penny sales tax increase would create more funding for public safety officers. Now the money would support the sheriff's office, 911 call center, and also fire departments there as well. We're also told that high humidity is becoming a problem this afternoon, causing issues with some paper ballots in North Carolina. The State Board of Elections says some voting locations are having issues this afternoon feeding ballots through tabulators. Now officials say ballots that can be read are stored in emergency bins and will be counted as soon as they can. If early voting was any indicator this afternoon, turnout today at polling sites is expected to be brisk. Meredith Stutz is live this afternoon in Alamance County with what you need to know come Election Day. Meredith?
Devontae, we are in Burlington and Alamance County at First Presbyterian Church, and so far more than 300 people have turned out to this church alone today, and we're just at lunchtime. Now, this is a copy of the sample ballot, and on the back page is really one of the issues that is really bringing people out today, and it has to do with proposed bonds. That first one has to do with Alamance County schools. A $150 million bond would be used to rebuild one high school and add classrooms to other high schools and renovate and expand 2 elementary schools. Supporters say several of the schools are overcrowded and in need of an update. The second is a proposed $39.6 million bond for Alamance Community College. Now this would go towards renovations and additional parking. In total, if both bonds pass, there would be an increase to property sales tax by reported 7 to 8 cents per $100 of property value. Now also on the ballot is an increase of sales tax. That would be a 0.25%. Now if the bonds are passed and the sales tax would be passed as well, that would actually cut those bond increases to property value in half. So instead of 7 to 8, it might be 3 to 4 cents. We'll keep you updated. Reporting live in Burlington, Meredith Stutz, WXII 12 News.
Thank you. We'll check back in with you at 12:30. Again, money issues are also on the ballot this afternoon over in Davie County, but a number of area sheriffs are up for election today. One county electing a new top law officer is Surry County. Bria Love is live in Mount Airy this afternoon with more on that contest and turnout there. Bria?
Yeah, Devontae, I'm at the municipal building here in Mount Airy, and I've talked to election officials who tell me they've seen about 150 people so far. It's about 6 hours since the polls opened, and she says that's really good. It's a good indication of what's to come later. Now, behind me, there are still some people out here canvassing, getting the last word out for the candidates that they want people to vote for. But again, the polls are opened here, and things are moving. And one of the biggest races in Surry County is for Surry County Sheriff. Let's take a look at who the candidates are for that race. This is Democrat Sheriff Jimmy Combs' first election after taking over for Graham Atkinson in 2017. After more than 10 years, Atkinson was appointed to the State Parole Commission, and Combs was a deputy for more than 30 years before he took office. He's running against GOP candidate Stephen Hyatt, who served 28 years with the county and is currently a reserve deputy. Again, the polls are open here in Mount Airy. I'm at the Mount Airy Municipal Building here, and there's plenty of polling locations here. You can find all of those on our website, WXII.com. But in terms of the Surry County Sheriff's race, the thing to watch out for here is a potential political party shift from Democrat to Republican determining the results. So again, polls are open here until 7:30 tonight. You just have to be in line by 7:30 to make sure you get your vote counted, and we'll keep you updated. Reporting live in Surry County, Bria Love, WXII 12 News.
That's something we will certainly watch. Bria, thank you. And voters are also deciding on 6 changes to the state constitution. Those amendments address a variety of topics, including requiring photo ID to vote, moving power to fill judicial vacancies to the legislature, changes to the State Board of Elections, capping state income tax at 7%, hunting and fishing rights, and also expanding the rights of crime victims. And the outcome of a congressional race in the Piedmont Triad could easily determine if Democrats take control of the U.S. House. It is in the 13th District. Incumbent Republican Ted Budd is facing a challenge from Democrat Kathy Manning. Now, pundits are calling this a toss-up. The contest has seen millions of dollars spent from outside groups and also several attack ads. Voters in the Piedmont Triad are making selections in other House's races as well. In the 5th District, Winston-Salem City Council member and Democrat Dee Dee Adams is challenging Representative Virginia Fox. Now, we're also told in the 6th District, Republican Representative Mark Walker is facing Democrat Ryan Watts. Well, the rallies are over, but President Trump is hoping his message on the campaign trail helps his Republican Party hold on to a lot of power. We get more now from Jared Hill in Washington.
The polls are open across the country now, and voters are going to be the ones to decide whether or not the president's push to maintain power for the GOP worked or if it's time for change. In the final push to the polls, President Trump admitting today's midterm is a referendum on his first 2 years in office. The GOP's biggest name, alongside conservative media personalities, sprinting through 3 red states that he won comfortably in 2016. The final message, light on the booming economy, heavy on immigration. The latest polls have Democrats winning control of the House and Republicans likely holding on to the Senate, potentially shifting the balance of power in Congress.
They want America to be a giant sanctuary city for drug dealers, predators, and bloodthirsty MS-13 killers.
That appears to be a calculation by President Trump that there's no better way to get his base out.
Now, while the polls are showing Democrats flipping the House, as we saw in 2016, those polls and the experts may not always be the best gauge of what will actually happen come Election Day. Reporting at the Capitol, I'm Jared Hill.
Jared, thank you, and stay with WXI 12 News all day today for team coverage as voters cast their ballots. And when polls close tonight, we'll bring you those results as they come into the newsroom. You can get nonstop results right now on the WXI 12 News mobile app.